The Porsche Cayenne has been an enormous success for the fine folks from Stuttgart. It's a go-anywhere, do-anything kind of vehicle, but there's always room for improvement. Now in its second generation, it's time for a mid-cycle refresh. The highlights are it's faster and it's more efficient across the board. We should probably take a closer look, both metaphorically and literally. Come with me.
Let's start with the superficial stuff. The updated Cayenne can be identified by its 4-element daytime running lights, reworked matching taillights that add visual width, if not actual width, and a redesigned front fascia, hood, and fenders. Lower tier models make do with bi-xenon headlights, but spring for the turbo model, and you'll get standard dynamic LED headlights, along with a 520 horsepower twin-turbo V8 and a $114,000 starting price. Move inside, and the interior is well crafted and attractive, with a steering wheel inspired by the 918 Spider, and for those rare Cayenne-owning off-road enthusiasts, some well-placed grab handles. Come to think of it, these babies might be pretty useful in the 911 too. If we have a major interior complaint, it's Porsche's obsession with buttons. So many similar-looking buttons. The saving grace is that they're logically grouped, making the buttons a bit easier to identify and operate. You'll also notice that the center console is pretty small, but generously sized door pockets pick up some of the storage slack. Moving rearward, the Cayenne lacks seat releases in the cargo area or a flat load floor.
But the rear seats do slide and recline. Here's the sliding, here's the reclining. And they're also contoured, so they feel a little bit more like sport bucket seats. And you might think, if they're contoured, that middle position is going to be uncomfortable because there's a bunch of, contouring. Not so. The center hump's not too bad, and I can sit here quite comfortably.
The Porsche Cayenne comes in a few flavors, or varietals for you wine snobs. There's the Cayenne, Cayenne Diesel, Cayenne S, Cayenne GTS, Cayenne Turbo, and a Turbo S that'll do 0 to 60 in only 3.8 seconds. Bottom line, we do not need more versions of the Porsche Cayenne. To that point, there's also a Cayenne SE Hybrid that sprints from 0 to 60 miles an hour in 5.4 seconds, returns 47 mile per gallon equivalent fuel economy, and features acid green accents throughout. Capable of covering 14 miles on a charge, this plug-in hybrid uses a variable resistance pedal to indicate how far the throttle can be pressed before activating the gasoline engine. Regardless of which Cayenne you choose, an 8-speed automatic transmission, a $995 destination charge, and all-wheel drive are all givens.
Not that anybody's going to do it, but if you wanted to take a Porsche Cayenne off-road, you absolutely could, and do so quite capably. Now, we're not pushing it to its limits. This is a dirt road that I could probably, with enough speed, take with the Honda Civic, but it does look a lot cooler driving on this in a Porsche Cayenne. Cue the drone footage. One of the things you see in the modern era that you didn't always see in the automotive world is the combination of ride comfort and excellent handling in the same vehicle. That's becoming a, increasingly common trait. But what's odd is to combine that in a vehicle like the Porsche Cayenne, which sits up a little bit higher. And yet, here I am, steering quite capably through this corner, and when the road straightens out, the ride will be pretty smooth too. With all this Porscheness, the fact that it's a quick vehicle and it steers really nicely, you might think that it is somehow less of a grocery getter or less of a family haul, and it really isn't. Great visibility all around, a comfortable ride, it's pretty easy to put stuff in and out of. You can take it to the Whole Foods, the Home Depot, the Target, and all sorts of other places that we can't show because we don't want to be sued by those people. More power and more efficiency is a key storyline with the latest iteration of Cayenne, but also you got to remember that the brakes work really well too. Not just in the normal Cayenne, but also in the hybrid, which is stunning because good brakes in a hybrid are like me on a dance floor. Doesn't happen. Speaking of the hybrid, it's not just the brakes that feel normal, everything feels normal. It has an 8-speed automatic transmission, moves up through the gears. You don't feel that transition when it goes from electric to electric and gas propulsion. It just feels like driving a normal SUV, except it's really, really quick and it's pretty efficient.
Helping improve efficiency for the entire Cayenne lineup are active grille shutters and an engine start-stop system that we actually don't hate. Leave the system active, and it smartly shuts off the engine as you roll to a stop, then swiftly brings the engine back to life as you remove your foot from the brake pedal. In familiar German fashion, there are plenty of ways to direct the Cayenne's already elevated purchase price even higher. Standouts include ventilated seats front and rear, adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning, a surround view camera system, PASM, which is Porsche's active suspension damping system, PASM supplemented by a ride height adjusting air suspension, and of course the all-important Sport Chrono package, now featuring Performance Start, aka launch control, that reduces 0 to 60 runs by 0.1 seconds. Of course, all of that supplements a compelling standard equipment list that includes a power tailgate, USB input, Bluetooth, navigation, dual zone climate control, and 8 airbags. For Cayenne alternatives, look to the BMW X5 and Mercedes-Benz M-Class, each offering comparable features for less money. Or for true off-road adventurers, there's the sexy and capable Range Rover Sport. That said, where premium vehicles are concerned, charm often trumps reason, and the Porsche Cayenne has plenty of charm.
Incremental improvements aren't nearly as exciting as sweeping change, but sometimes you don't need sweeping change. Sometimes all you have to do is get ever finer sandpaper and keep smoothing out those little rough edges. It's kind of the same deal with the Porsche Cayenne. Porsche already had a winner on its hands, but if you get out that sandpaper and smooth out those little rough edges, you come away with something that's even more winning.